Welcome to Ellen Ruth Soap. I'm Ellen, and today we are making a Valentine's soap. And I love doing this. I have this little column mold, is what it's called. It's silicone, and it makes the cutest little heart embeds. I got this on Amazon, and I'll leave a link for one similar to what I have here. And it seals up really nice. So anyway, cute heart mold. This is going to go down in the body of the soap we're doing today, and I'm going to color it with My Red Obsession. This is from Nurture Soap, which is now Nurture Handmade. Beautiful red color, but it's got a little pink tint to it, if you will. It's not a true red, and I love it. So that's what we're going to color the heart with. And then in the body of the soap, I want to do a swirl with, it's called, I need to wear reading glasses more often, French Silk Stockings, and this is from Wholesale Supplies Plus. It is the prettiest ballet pink. It's so feminine and light, and I love it. So we're going to do that in the body of the soap for a swirl, and I might do a little of the My Red Obsession, but I don't think so because I don't want to take away from the heart embed. I've done that before where I've made my embed and then the color in the soap similar, and then the embed gets lost in there, you know, and I want the heart to stand out. Also, I'm going to be making a generous amount of soap today, so I have enough extra batter to do some soap frosting on top. It's been a while since I've taken out my piping bags, so we're going to make this just full of love, pink hearts, you know, frosting on top, all the extra bells and whistles to make this Valentine's soap today. And so I'm going to make this little heart out of a cold process recipe. I'm going to make a micro batch. This is takes about 5 ounces to fill this heart. So I'm going to make a itty bitty teeny tiny little batch of soap to fill in here, and I'll have to make this the day before so I can unmold it and have it ready to go when we make the main soap. So got to make the heart first. I want cold process. I can do melt and pour in that, but it's really hard on the wires on my cutter. Melt and pour soap is very hard to cut with a wire cutter. It really does better with a knife. So I figured we'd do cold process embed today. It's kind of a mouthful. Anyway, let me get everything pulled together to make my micro batch for the heart embed, and then we'll come back and make a full Valentine's loaf. All right, we are back to make our little mini batch heart embed here, and I tried to make this very small, but if I have any extra, I have my flour mold off to the side because I don't like to waste a single bit. This is such a simple recipe. I didn't add any bells and whistles, so this is just water and sodium hydroxide here. This is coconut palm, castor oil, and olive oil for the oils, and I will leave the recipe for my little mini batch down below along with the main body recipe that we're going to make today. But keeping the little embed here super simple, and I'm going to go ahead and add my colorant right into the oils here. And get them pre-mixed in. So then all we have to do is add the lye, pour it in the mold, and wait till tomorrow to unmold, and we can make our main soap. But look at that color. It's so pretty. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful. Easy peasy. Let's get our little lye solution in here. Now let's get on with it. We are back with our little heart mold. We're going to unmold this and get it measured to fit down in this little teeny mold, and then we'll talk about the game plan today. It has been 48 hours. Because this did not go through gel phase, it's kind of small and it's hard to build up the heat mass. So I like to wait an extra day when I don't use gel phase because soap can be sticky the next day. So 48 hours later, we'll go ahead and peel this off. Go. Let's see here. I'm going to just mark this with my knife. There we go. And there we go. It'll fit in there perfectly. So now this is going to go off to the side, and I'm going to get my lye solution and oils ready for the big batch of soap. All right, we are back, and here are all the base oils and the fragrance oil in here. And again, the recipe will be listed down below. And this is a great recipe. It has cocoa butter and shea butter, and I love it. And this is palm-free. I did use palm to make the heart mold, but you can use any soap recipe you want. This one for the base is a palm-free recipe. So that'll be down there. I have my additives here, but first I want to talk about the volume of soap we're making. This little mold off Amazon is a 42-ounce mold, and so that is the amount to fill it right to the brim. I made a 68-ounce batch here, a 4-pound batch is what I'm going to make once we get the lye in here. So I wanted lots of extra. I have my flour mold off to the side. If I have too much extra, which can you ever have too much soap? I don't think so. I mean, here's the little flour I got from the leftovers of the heart. So I love that. These are wonderful guest soaps, so I never mind if I have a little extra. So here is my piping bag that I have all ready to go. I have an Atika 889 tip. It's kind of a swirly, pointy, and I'm just planning on doing big fluffy dollops all across the top of the soap. And I was over at my shelf pulling out things, and I found these little sugar pearl hearts. They're just made out of sugar. You can get them in the cake decorating aisle. Anytime there's a holiday, like Valentine's Day is coming up, or Halloween, or fall, or Christmas, they have sugar pearls that kind of go with the season. These are teeny little hearts. I'm not sure if I'm going to use these or not, but I had them, so I pulled them out just in case I'm feeling inspired. If the piping looks beautiful without them, I'll probably just leave them alone. But they're there if I want them, so I love having options. Let's get to our additives. We're going to go ahead and do our kale and clay, colloidal oats, and because I want this to be super luxurious, I have buttermilk powder. And this just makes a really creamy lather. I love milk powders. They're super easy to add. So I'm going to add all my dry ingredients to the oils and get them blended in really well. And I'll be adding about 1 tablespoon each of these 3 dry ingredients into here. So let me tell you about the fragrance oil. I kind of made my own little proprietary blend. It's a little fruity and a little foody smelling. I fragranced at 5% for this batch, a 68-ounce batch. So that was 3.4 ounces of fragrance, or 96 grams of fragrance I put in the oils, because I know this is going to behave. All the fragrant oils that I blended together to get this scent all behave well in soap. So, all right. About a tablespoon. This is a 2 tablespoon scoop. And the same with these. So yeah, fragrance is already in there. When I know something's going to behave, I just throw it in the oils, so I don't have to think about it again, because I have forgotten to put fragrance in soap before. Tell me I'm not the only one. Have you ever done that? And it's, you know, it's fine to have a good unscented soap, but when you plan to have a fragrance in there and you forget it, it's a little bummer. So everything's in here. Let's get this blended up, and then we'll come back when it's time to make soap. All right, we are back with our lye solution, and I feel like I rushed through the whole fragrance topic. I made a little proprietary blend and looked up the usage rate for each of my fragrances that I blended, and they were each at 5% usage, so that's why I chose 5%. But my encouragement to you is, whether you're using an essential oil or a fragrant oil, always look up the usage rate for what you're using and from the manufacturer. So even if it has the same name, like blackberry vanilla or whatever, if you get it from one supplier, look up that supplier's usage rate just to make sure. It's always good to double check. So I'm sorry if I rushed through that the first time. Here is our lye solution. So this is water, sodium hydroxide. I did dissolve some sugar in here because I want big bubbles today. Sugar is a lather booster. I did put in tussa silk fibers that melted with the lye, and sodium lactate to help with unmolding the next day. So that's what's going on in this little lye pot. And I have 2 cups off to the side. I might use a little bit of that Red Obsession for a swirl, but I don't want to use too much because, again, I don't want to lose my little heart down in the mold. So we'll see. I'm just going to see how this should behave without any issues, and that'll give me plenty of options. I did not make a separate soap frosting recipe today. I'm going to save off whatever doesn't fit in the mold. The extra will be my soap frosting. You can make a separate soap frosting recipe. That's always an option, but I like to just make a big batch and use this for the frosting. So we'll get up to a nice emulsion, light trace, and pour off for our colors and get the base of the soap poured and do a hanger swirl, and then I'll have to wait for it to thicken up before we can come in with our piping bag. I've let this sit for about 10 or so minutes. It's still a little pliable. I'm going to try a couple of dollops and see if it's firm enough to pipe. If it's not, I'm just going to leave it and be patient. But let's give it a try and see. It's very swirly in the bag. If it'll hold its shape. Yeah, it's kind of loose, but it is holding its shape. So I'm going to go ahead and pipe down. I can tell right now that I made plenty of extra soap. So again, I've got my little flower mold off to the side, and we'll just make lots of flowers. To go through gel phase. So here is my heating pad, very inexpensive, got it on Amazon. Let me get that plugged in and show you. It's got low, medium, and high for heat. I go all the way to high when I'm going to be around and can check on it. And I'll leave it on for about 1 to 2 hours. I'm going to put a cooler over the top of this, and then I'll come down and turn this off and just let it sit undisturbed overnight. So this is how I force gel phase, which just means I'm forcing the cooking, the saponification to kind of speed along. That's how I like to do it. So let me grab my cooler, All right, so this is just an old cooler. I'm going to try really hard not to bonk the top, and it keeps everything insulated, keeps all the heat inside, and there it is. So in about 2 hours, I'll turn this heating pad off and let it set. And we are back the next day, so it's been about 24 hours, and I have not touched this, so let's take the lid off and see what we've got. Oh, I'm glad I put the hearts on there. The piping colors sort of mesh together, and it's a little flesh color. I don't know if I'm loving that color, but I love the overall look. Really pretty. So let me get my heating pad put away, and let's get this out of the mold. And we are back with the lovely Olga, and I'm very excited to get in here. It looks like the colors in the body of this soap are brighter than the muddled on top, but I still think it's really pretty. It looks luscious, and I love the fact that there's buttermilk cream in here. Oh, that's tight. All right, so let me tell you about Olga here. This, because this is such a high arch, is a high top soap cutter. Some are flat and you can't. Well, this is such a high top. When I lay it on the side, it's hitting the wires. So I'm going to have to cut this straight up and down. Normally, I tip it on its side, but today we're going to do it like this. And I'm hoping that the little sugar pearls don't cause too many drag marks in here. So we have a little bit of a logistical challenge, but nothing we can't handle. We're all good. Let's hope it's not going to knock the top off here. Oh boy, it's going to be close. All right, we made it. Wow, just barely. Oh my goodness, that took a little muscle power, and I bumped the top a little bit. This is a very high top, but see the arch here, and it made it just barely. So that's something to note with a multi-bar cutter. If you're making really high top soaps, that could be a challenge. All right, let me quit talking and let's get in here and see what we've got going. Oh, it's so cute. Look at that. And the heart did stand out. This is interesting. So this heart and that dark color is the same color and about the same amount per volume, but this one didn't go through gel phase. Look how pastel the color is. And here is gel phase. You get a little brighter color with gel phase. I find that fascinating and I love it. All right, let's see how these swirls keep going. Oh, it's so cute. It's kind of, again, my in the pot swirl for the frosting got a little muddled up, but I'm not mad at it. I think it looks really fun and pretty. And to me, these say love and all the things I want Valentine's soap to say. Happy with that. Oh, so cute. So let's talk about the sugar pearls on top. I'm saying pearls, meaning which is typically a little round ball. These are little hearts, so festive. And they are 100% sugar and colorant, so they will just dissolve in the shower or knock off. They won't harm your septic system or your drains at all. Being sugar, they will just dissolve in water. So I don't have a problem putting a few little ones up there. It doesn't bother me a bit. Oh, I love it. This is really wispy, and these kind of look romantic to me. If a bar of soap could be romantic, I think these would be. Oh, I'll have to give one of these to my husband. His birthday is the day before Valentine's Day, and so I always try to make it special and not run the two together. You know how that is. If you are a person with a birthday on a holiday, bless your heart, you probably, end up everyone double ups. I have a girlfriend whose birthday is Christmas Day, and so she gets like one gift and they're like, oh, it's Christmas and birthday. And it always bummed her out that her birthday got mashed in with the holiday. So I try to make my husband's birthday separate and special and not tie it into Valentine's, but I think he will be getting a bar of this soap. So obviously, when you're seeing this video, making this was several weeks ago, so they'll be ready to use by the time this video is published for him. Oh, I love the swirls on this one. So even though they were nice and firm to cut, they're a little bit tacky. So I am going to let these sit for probably a day before I come in and do my beveling and stamping and all the things that I love to do to a soap. That one got swirly on top. It's really cute. So yeah, I'm going to let these sit for a day because the beveling and the stamping is kind of an aggressive action, and I want to make sure they're nice and firm when I come in to do that. And I thank you for joining me today. I hope you give this recipe a try with the shea butter and the cocoa butter and all the goodness. These are going to be divine. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Happy Valentine's. Before I get into stamping, I just wanted to show you really quick the color difference. This did not go through gel phase. It's a little flower I made with the extra frosting, and this is gel phase. Gel phase is kind of the cooking of the soap, if you will. You'll get a more pastel color with no gel and brighter colors with gel. So I just think this is a great picture example.